Hello, hello. Dr. Brett Spradlin here at Divine Design Natural Health, and we have made it through the tornado apocalypse. Is anybody here? Yes, yes, yes. A stranger on the television told everybody to shut the schools down and close all the businesses, and people freaked out, and here we are. It's crazy. But y'all showed up, and even Weta, you came from how far away?
An hour.
Hour away. Drove in a Sharknado here in the middle, knee deep of the apocalypse, and she still made it. So people are at home freaking out right now. We had a bunch of people cancel. It's like somebody on TV just said there's going to be a tornado, so everybody just cancels everything. Cancels everything. All right, so you guys ready to rock on the 8th installment of this?
A lot of lies.
There's a lot. I'm already working on 9, 10, and 11, just so you all know how to plan your future accordingly. Okay, let's get right into this. Current events. First of all, we'd like to thank tonight's sponsor. I'm applying for the White House press secretary job.
Oh, all right.
I'm just kidding. Current events and announcements. The American Medical Association is taking licenses from medical doctors who defy the COVID's narrative and alphabet ideology. This is not a joke. The American Medical Association is all about this. So if you still know friends and family members that are going to doctors and getting their drugs and getting their insulin injections and all this crap, if they're going to wake up, they probably would have by now. But if you want your friends and family to live, get them away. Get them away. I'll go on record as saying it. Because all these gender transition clinics popping up all over the country run by whom? Doctors. Right? Same as abortion clinics. Who's doing it? Medical doctors. So you won't need to protest abortion in the future. Why? There won't be any abortions. Get it? Man, the American Medical Association now supports child mutilations. Trust in medical doctors has nearly evaporated, at least for people with a brain between their ears. I'll go on record as saying it. Be ready for the fake alien invasion coming to a hologram near you. We've predicted this for years. That's part of the whole takeover space farce crap that, is going on. People have changed. Therefore, so has our selection process of who is allowed in our front door. You don't just call here and become a patient. We select who gets to be a patient here. This is for your safety and the safety of your family as well as ourselves. We can't help anyone if we're dead, and we don't just let anybody walk in here. Next. We added the Divine Design Natural Health Buzz Gate at the front door. How many of you noticed? We call it the Buzz Gate. I was going to call it the Buzz Saw, but let's make it Buzz Gate. This is for the safety and privacy of everyone. That way, if somebody comes down here and they want to shut us down or whatever, if they can't get in the door, they can't. Guess what? Haha, we beat you to the punch. Our videos. YouTube and Vimeo permanently deplatformed us in 2020 early on. We were talking about the fake alien invasion, and we were talking about the COVID's lethal injection, and we were doing it from a biblical standpoint. They didn't like that. So you can see our website for 5 alternative platforms that cannot be taken down unless they just take down the internet, which is on the docket, as a matter of fact. Divine Design Natural Health Academy, we have launched that, I think in like the last 6 months, because we're doing our own academy, because there's an online platform called Teachable, there's Kajabi, there's all kinds of like little online teaching platforms. A friend of mine had a Teachable account, and they dropped 62 of his courses, an entire terabyte of his video data, and 9 years of his online institute. And there were thousands of other doctors, natural health practitioners, I can't say doctors, but a lot of natural health practitioners as subscribers. And they just overnight shut them down on Teachable. Yes, they're censoring people on Teachable, they're censoring people on Kajabi. That's why everything we're doing in the near future is going to be decentralized. And we'll talk about all that. Kind of like Bitcoin is to money, Nostr, that you should be hearing about now. If you haven't already, you need to look into Nostr. Nostr is doing with what Bitcoin is to money, Nostr is to communications. We can talk about that farther. Nostr. So to get around all the censorship and all that nonsense, we're working on it. And the detoxification packages for your friends and family who aren't yet ready to fully commit are now available. We don't do this very often, but we open it up every once in a while. And once again, we still select the people. If they're out of their belfry crazy, we might not have them come in. But we do the foot spas, saunas, and pulses for people who just aren't ready to fully take on the whole responsibility of becoming independent on their own, and so they can come in off the street and do foot spa, sauna, and pulse, all the detoxification packages. But if they're friends and family of yours, we'll think about it. Mainstream media has actually reported all of the following reasons for the recent increase in sudden death. Why are we talking about this? Because some of the lies have to do with this. I want you to catch this later on. They're telling you eggs can cause sudden death, cold weather, warm weather, gardening, climate change can cause sudden death. They used to call it global warming. They don't call it global warming anymore because it's not global and there was no warming. There is no global and there is no warming. Sunlight, football, sleeping conditions, positions, sleeping with the TV on, sweating, daylight savings, energy bills, air pollution, shoveling snow, turning your head too quickly, cooking oils. That's only part of them. Keep going. Sitting down, getting up, walking, running, breathing, traffic noise, humidity, car fumes, gas stoves, racism, video games. Oh, there is breathing on there. I wasn't kidding. And then 25, incandescent light bulbs. Yay. But it's definitely, all these dead people dropping dead and all these people with weird, really aggressive turbo cancers and all the long COVIDs and all the nonsense that they're talking about. It's definitely, notice the fine print, not the thing you think it might be. Just FYI. You get what I mean? Okay. We started this whole series back, I looked it up, it was March 16th. Right smack on the cusp of the COVIDs. March 16th, 2020, we did part 1. Then we did part 2 in April of 2020, part 3, part 4, part 5, part 6, part 7. So why do we do this? Well, here's a few reasons. Since beginning in February 2014, that's when I opened this first office, and then we moved here 4 years later, I've heard and recorded these comments made to patients like yourselves. So since I opened the doors, people would come in and tell me crazy stuff their doctors told them. And I would say, I got to keep that. I got to make a record of this. Nobody would believe that. And so eventually I gathered up enough of them and we did a class, part 1, and then part 2, part 3, and they just kept flowing in. Because how many of you know people don't come here as a first resort? They come here as a last possibility, as a last hope. Right? After the medical propagandists, the atheists with the snakes on their name tags, pushing pharmakia, after they've ravaged somebody's body with the drugs and the surgeries and the vaccines, only after all of that nonsense and people have spent their life savings and almost gone medically bankrupt to get better, then they kind of wake up and then they go, well, wow, this isn't working. After the previous 40 years of none of it ever working, right? So then they come in here and they tell me this big long sob story about my doctor told me this and doctor told me that. That's where all of this came from. All of it. Now, the funny thing is, most of these people who are telling me this stuff, because most of our patients they're medical professionals. So it's actually, sometimes it's the nurses telling me stuff like, hey, this is what I heard a doctor tell a patient. So to document, why do we do this? To document the lunacy of what your healthcare believes, because it's absolute maniacal. It's maniacal. And what it has become, as stated by varied medical professionals in various specialties, by the way. I've got optometry people in here. I've got dental people in here. I've got physical therapists, occupational therapists. I've got nurse practitioners, PAs, you name it. These beliefs are widespread across time and geographical location. What I mean by that is you'll talk to somebody who came here from Washington, and you'll talk to somebody who moved here from Florida, and the doctors were telling them the same thing, that their Crohn's disease had nothing to do with their diet. Even the phrasing of how they answer the question to the doctors are geographically and widespread across time and geographic locations. So these doctors, what that tells me is these doctors are being trained on how to answer certain questions in medical school with certain words and certain phrases. You'll see what I mean when we go through some of the lies. Another reason we do it, B, to emphatically prove the inaccuracy of the statements as documented by thousands of recorded and written testimonials on that wall, the wall of victory over there, with all the documented cases that we've had in here and all the testimonials. The inaccuracy of all those statements as documented by all of our testimonials after patients recover and awaken to true biblical healthcare and what it means to feed your body and take care of your body and detox all the crap that's in your body. We prove it. We prove it. The people who come in here with all the genetic problems and the people who come in here with all the, heart disease and the diabetes and the stuff that they've been told that they're going to have forever and ever and ever, how does that go away? Crazy, isn't it? C, we do it to echo the sentiment of our patients, many of whom are medical professionals who tell us all these things, but they would be reprimanded or persecuted for making these things known. They are in disbelief about a lot of the stuff that we're telling you, just as I am. They can't believe a doctor actually said this to a patient. Sometimes we won't go through many of many of those tonight, but we'll go through a quick smattering of each part 1, part 2, part 3, part 4, and I'll just point out some of my favorites. If you want the guided tour guide commentary, you'd have to go back and watch the old ones. But they're fun. Put them on while you're in the shower. You'll laugh. D, to illustrate what your friends and family have been or will be told so as to prepare you to hear the same, because you're going to hear this stuff. They're training the doctors how to say this stuff. They're training the doctors to say stuff like, oh, well, we've run every test. We can't find anything. It must be in your... See, you can finish the sentence. There's dozens of those. Watch. Ready? Oh, wait. Let's start with a commercial break. So everybody, welcome Heidi.
All
She's going
right.
to deliver a commercial break, Heidi.
So this patient's been here about 9 months, and she said, before Divine Design, I was dealing with chronic fatigue, body aches, tingling hands and feet, heart palpitations, and I was sick a lot. Now I have a lot of energy, no body aches, no tingling extremities, and no heart palpitations. I am symptom-free.
Wow. Hold on. What were the symptoms again?
Chronic fatigue, body
There's
ache,
one diagnosis. There's one specialist. What's the next one?
body aches,
Body aches. There's another. Fibromyalgia. Hear it? Right there. Thank you. Nurse of 52 years. Yes.
tingling hands and feet,
Tingling hands and feet. What specialist? Neuropathy. There's peripheral neuropathy. So you'd be going to an endocrinologist or a diabetes doctor, right?
and heart palpitations.
Heart palpitations. Crazy. Who would you go to for heart palpitations? Cardiologist, right? They'd be doing stents. They'd be doing, well, first they'd do a stress test. They'd say, well, your heart isn't acting right, so we'll put you on a treadmill and make you run. Perfect. That's like making your sick kid go to school. Is the sick kid going to school going to have a good day or a bad day? Bad day, right? See, like, who thinks of this? But everybody just lines up for it. Just like everybody lines up for, oh, it's a crappy day outside. I think we'll just close all the schools down and we'll tell everybody a tornado's coming, right? It's the craziest. So right there, that person's been here 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
She would be going to at least 4 specialists. God knows spending how much money, time, insurance premiums, deductibles, co-pays, co-insurance, prescription costs, driving to Vanderbilt and getting, tossed around the system. Or she could just come here and get it all taken care of in about, what, how many weeks?
Just a couple.
9 months,
Can
right?
start feeling better. Yeah.
Yeah, a few weeks. But, hey, changing your diet and your little bit of your behavior, that's just way too much for some people. All right. Be the reason someone stops believing in government. Can you believe? I think that's funny that it's on a government sign next to the road. I love it. The third leech isn't working. Better give him another booster leech. You guys are not laughing appropriately. Beatings will expand until morale improves. Oh, here, I'll read this for you in the nosebleeds. Think about this. This is fun. The animal doctors will say, your dog is sick. Usually it's related to their diet. What is he eating? But the human doctor says, I'm sorry to hear you get stomach aches every time you eat. Have you tried antacids? If that doesn't work, we should run an endoscopy where they shove a camera up or down one hole of your body and look at your stomach from the inside. If that doesn't work, you're probably dying and should try chemotherapy. This works, right? How many pets, how many award-winning horses and herds of cattle that are all worth a lot of money, right? How many animals die on a farm? Very few. They figured out how.
Lately,
Huh?
except lately when they're,
Well, yeah. But what I'm saying is, how many animals actually die on a farm? Not very many, right? Because they've added it additively into the food because they know nutritionally what's going to keep that chicken herd from falling dead. Ask any veterinarian. So if they did that in animals, couldn't they do that in humans? Huh. Yeah, right. Think about that one. But still, they're going to hit you with rabies and heartworm and flea stuff, flea and tick Medicaid. They're still going to try to kill you. And we'll talk about this, I think the very last question, the very last lie, we'll talk about the number one problem in the animal kingdom. We'll talk about it. See, we don't just do humans here, people. I wonder what would happen if we repeatedly injected children with poison-groaning egg protein, peanut oil, or aborted fetal cell lines from the opposite sex just to trigger an immune response. Oh, and by the way, pharmaceutical companies, when you see egg protein listed on the Vaccine insert. I hadn't thought about this until recently. You know they use snake eggs to make the vaccines? All they say on the
Insert.
the insert is eggs. You assume it's chicken eggs, but it's not. Interesting. Right. Snake eggs. Huh. I wonder where they got the snake eggs, and I wonder why snakes. The information they censor is exactly what you need to know. Government, chemtrails, Illuminati, NASA, Nazis, vaccines. I love that picture. It took me a while to get the makeup on for that, though. Take the shot or we'll restrict your travel, close your business, close your church, destroy your life, get you fired. And then nobody forced you to take the shot 2 years later. Remember that? Everybody forgot about it. How do I know? Because they're running right back to the doctors that were trying to kill them 2 years ago. It's nuts. Mind control. It isn't hard to understand when 5.5 billion people take an experimental product with no long-term testing because the TV told them to. That's mind control. It's crazy. Stranger on TV told you to go get a shot, and you did it. Unbelievable. Next. Tabloids have existed for decades. Misinformation only became a problem once we started questioning establishment narratives instead of filling our minds with celebrity drama, UFO sightings, and Bat Boy. Take as long as you need to think about that. See, they're only having a problem with the misinformation and the disinformation and all that, and the fact-checking stuff only started like 2 years ago because people finally started figuring it out. But this smut has been around for decades at every supermarket checkout aisle. So where's the problem with the misinformation here? No, but we get censored. See how that works? We're talking natural health. Don't go to pharmaceutical companies. Don't sacrifice your kids to the medical doctors. And here's what the Bible says. We get shut down. Most of the churches don't get shut down now. Interesting. Interesting. If genitals don't define gender, how does removing them affirm it? Remember, these are medical doctors. Right? Hello. All it takes is a little thinking. These are what the medical doctors are doing. See, if you don't see it yet, and if you got friends and family members that don't see it yet, these are the same doctors that were trying to kill you 2 years ago, now saying that boys can have babies. It's sick. And nobody's talking about this. Satanic death cult. There's me standing there in my dog suit. The rest of the world. That's divisive. Keep your opinions to yourself, silly conspiracy theorist. All the sheep talking about, and here comes this big werewolf. And there's a dog standing in the middle of it. I love that one. Next. Here we go. Lies Doctors Tell Part 1. Click on the whole thing, Jonathan. How about this? You need 8 glasses of water per day. Lie. How about this one? Chiropractic's only good for neck pain, back pain, headache. How about number 9? Your intestines are too long. I've heard that one I don't know how many times. From patients who got what cut out? Intestines. Next. Oh, hold on. We need to monitor your blood sugar. But remember, sugar doesn't have any impact on your health. Dead serious. You've heard it. You've heard it. Number 13, you'll die without this medication. Number 16, just let them go. They've lived a good long life. You've got relatives. You've got friends and family that are buying this nonsense. Next. Lies Doctors Tell Part 2. No, I love number 17. Your condition's hereditary. It's genetic. There's nothing you need to do to change it. It's not your behavior. It's God's fault. That's what genetic means. That's what they're telling you. How about 22? You have baby skin. How about 23? You're in remission. I love that one. When people are eaten up with cancer and then they do enough sacrificing of their body to the gods of chemotherapy and radiation and then that now they're in remission. Isn't that great? I love that one. Number 31, the drugs are finally working. I love that one. That's one of my favorites. I think there's about 150 of these and they're all my favorites. So part 3, we'll start at number, I love this one. This is a vestigial organ left over from evolution. You'll be fine without it. How many of you have heard that? What does that apply to? That's your wisdom teeth. That's your tonsils. That's your appendix. That's your gallbladder. And now women, that's your uterus and that's your ovaries. You don't need it anymore. But what happens to my uterus and ovaries when you don't worry about that. We'll just take it. We'll ship it. It'll be fine. But we're going to ship it over here and we're going to, nope, look over there. Which is related to number 34. Number 38, it's all within normal limits. Your blood looks fine. All that means is you're sick just like all the sick people that got their blood tested. So people come to me all the time. They're like, do you test blood? I go, well, I can. but I've advanced beyond that. What? We don't test your blood here. That's old news. That's like 1980s. That people are still testing blood. Stupid. Why? Because your blood is made of what you eat and the drugs you take. So if people came in here off the street and we tested their blood, what would I see on their blood panels? Crap, 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 crap. I'm not even looking at a human's blood. I'm looking at genetically engineered, modified pharmaceutical substances. Well, how do you tell what's going on? Didn't we just have this talk? How do you tell what's going on without testing blood? Easy. Ask questions. Easy. We tell what's going on by asking questions. Looking at your symptoms, we can tell what's going on. And then we test your body and we figure out what you need. So all the blood tests are doing is a way for the pharmaceutical companies and the doctor's offices to snag money from your insurance every 6 months while they check your blood. That's all it is. It's bone on bone. You're going to need surgery. Oh, you've heard that one before, right, Mom? That's my mom right there. She had the bone on bone hoax diagnosis spoken over her. And I said, well, that's impossible. Like, your meniscus isn't going to regrow. Like, you don't have the same meniscus that you were born with. So they just wanted to schedule her for a knee replacement surgery. Like, how many aunts and uncles and cousins and brothers and sisters, right? So the bone-on-bone thing is such a hoax, and everybody lines up for it, and then 3 to 5 years later, they put you on the calendar, and they call you for your other knee. Come and sacrifice your other knee to us. And it takes, 16 weeks in rehab to learn how to re-walk or whatever? It's stupid. We adjusted you, we did nutrition, we did laser, boom. Have you had knee surgery? Perfect. 44, sleep apnea is deadly. You need a CPAP. See, some of these are so stupid. Like, you can't sleep. You have to have a Darth Vader mask to sleep because your body is so stupid. This is what they're telling you. Your body's so stupid you might die while sleeping. That's how stupid your body is. That's how much they respect your body. So they get you plugged into the wall, can't roll over, can't hug anybody because you've got a Mack truck grill strapped to your face. It's ridiculous. It's time for your colonoscopy. Infant well baby visits are necessary for healthy children. Yeah, check out the health of the children. We'll talk about that. Number 50, I love that one. That's not possible. Oh, number 48, we should do the surgery before your insurance runs out. You get the point. Let's go to the next one. You get the point. It's just stupidity. It's stupidity. Oh, 54, it's normal to leak urine after childbirth. Kegels won't help. Time for your mammogram. If you're going to be around your grandkids, you should get your DTaP. Next. You get the point. Your kids should never be around those who are unvaccinated. Oh, I love this. 62. Now that you're 65, you need to come in every 3 months because things are going to start happening to you. Yeah, I love this. I love that they have crystal balls. 64 and 65, love them. Baby's allergic to its mother. Love it. Your internal thermostat's broken. Don't drink water, drink Gatorade. I mean, it's just... Swelling at the site of injection is perfectly normal. I love that one. Remember what they told people around the COVID's lethal injection, that it just stayed in the arm? People believed it. Next. Lies Doctors Tell Part 5. Next. Silent acid reflux. It's deadly, don't you know? Silent acid reflux. Oh, if you don't get your gallstones removed, it could cause cancer. If you have, number 78, young man, drugs are for sale, not to be taken. There's an interesting story about Pharmacia Upjohn, Dr. Upjohn of the Upjohn Pharmacia, Upjohn Pfizer, which became Pfizer, Upjohn Pharmacia, which became Pfizer Company. I tell a little story about that. Very interesting. Your infant has low iron, so let's pump them full of synthetically mutated, lab-grown crap called iron. Drugs are finally work. Oh, that ended up in there twice. I must have heard that 5 times. Next. You have polyps in your gallbladder. It's a physical impossibility. The water in eastern Tennessee is so bad. That's why we have to take out your gallbladder, number 82. A physical therapist told me that one. He said, is that even possible? I'm like, I don't know. Like, number 81 is impossible. Number 82, maybe. Number 85, all of your relatives on clotting drugs have heard this one. Don't eat dark greens. They cause kidney stones. Will make them worse. 84, love that one. 86, your elderly mother is so ravaged by dementia she can't tell us which drug she's taking. Problem was the mother was on no drugs, but the nurse didn't believe it. The nurse thought she had dementia. Next. 87, check that one out. 88, that's a lie. We got the whole tumor. Dead wrong. 892. Love that one. Can't do surgery on you or your tumor until we fatten you up. You have to eat sugar, Hostess cakes, and Dr. Pepper. That's for real. I've heard that. Patients have been told that. Next. You're just a bleeding child. Oh, I wonder what's making the child bleed. Your right thumb's not connected to your left thumb. Unbelievable. Just ice it and elevate it. There's an interesting story behind that one, too, about a young kid. Lies doctors tell, part 7. Some babies just don't poop. Sometimes babies just die. This is typical for a snake bite. There's a story behind that one. We'll take great care of you. That's a lie. Next. Your heart's stronger than it's ever been. Then why am I on medications? Your knees are really loose. No running or athletics for you. But it's a 10-year-old kid. See the problem there? Your uterus fell out. Your uterus fell out. A doctor told a patient that. You're allergic to water. You're allergic to sunlight. They people who've actually been told this by medical doctor practicing adult physicians told these things. Next. Tinnitus is common at your age. It's harmless. Just ignore it. You have diabetes with no symptoms. You're asymptomatic. Oh my gosh. Your diet has nothing to do with your diabetes. Your fat rolls are genetic. Give your kids the brat diet: bananas, rice, applesauce, toast. Don't forget the Pedialyte. Yep, that's what pediatricians tell people. Does that sound familiar? The brat diet. I never knew that until about a year ago. I'd never heard that. The brat diet. So not only are they calling your kids brats, they're spitting right in your face and giving them, what do you got here? Sugar, 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 and toasted sugar. That's great. I wonder what the kids' problems are going to be. Next. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Isn't this crazy? These are all documented by patients. I know the name of every single patient that told me this stuff. Oh, love this. There's a light on the pill bottle that goes off at 7:30 p.m. If you don't take the pill by 8:30, you'll get a text or a call from the doctor's office. There's Bluetooth on the pill bottles now.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
That if the light goes off and you don't take it within a certain amount of time, you get a text or a phone call at your house and they're wondering why you're not taking your medications. Next. That was a new one to me. Part 7. I love this. Patient says, I have atrial fibrillation. I said, your doctor told you that? No, my iWatch. There's another one coming up similar to that you'll love. You're allergic to your dryer sheets. Actually, that's not a lie. That's actually, yeah. Next. Raw milk's dangerous. You should definitely drink soy milk. Yep. Your kids have ADD and need medication. You're allergic to fish, tomatoes, nightshades, eggs, cheese, dairy, and meat. I've heard that from a dozen patients. A dozen patients. It's all the stuff they can't eat. You don't have any cavities today. Your fillings from last time are working. I've thought about doing a lies dentists tell class because so many of the stuff I hear is so asinine that I've heard from dentists. And we've got a lot of dental assistants here. If we remove your thyroid, it'll eventually be easier for you to get pregnant. If you don't take these eye drops, you'll go blind. Somehow the doctor has an award-winning crystal ball that he's able to consult. Next. Your retina's detaching. I have to tell you that you need surgery. However, I would not do it. Surgery will only make it worse. Astigmatisms never go away. Your eyes will just keep getting worse. How many of you are patients here? How many did anybody's eyes not get better? Your vision. Thank you. Exactly. You have to stop eating vegetables immediately. Someone up there must like you. Yeah. Men can menstruate with frozen tomato paste. Of course, that's all the rage now, right, Jonathan? Yeah. Frozen tomato paste. We'll mention it at the end. I don't want to get sidetracked here. But that's a quick little review. We'll get into the new stuff real quick. You ready for a commercial break? Yeah. So you get the point? It's crazy. It's nuts. Go ahead, Heidi.
All right. This patient's been here about 4 years, and she said, my mom is not a patient at Divine Design yet, but she asked for my help in changing her diet and adding supplements to replace her conventional supplements. I've noticed that she's lost weight and that she started sharing what I've taught her with others. I asked her what benefits she has noticed, and she shared the following with me. I feel more satisfied after eating, I am resting better, and I no longer have joint pain. My doctor said my blood work is the best it's been in years.
And she's not a patient here. It's just her daughter is a patient here, and her daughter has been helping her to eat right. Huh. See how easy that is?
Go through the family.
Yeah. Yeah. We will get you through your daughter. Ha ha ha. All right. Yeah, this is a famous little, I wish I knew the date on this. This is obviously shortly after 9/11. But this was in a newspaper called The Sovereign Independent. Bill Gates, right here. An old lady, 80 or 90-year-old lady, saved all of this stuff, and then people found it. Depopulation through forced vaccination, the zero carbon solution. Zero carbon solution, you hadn't heard that back in 9/11, 20 years ago. Zero carbon, that's what they're talking about now. You are the carbon they wish to reduce, right? You are the carbon they wish to reduce. Every time you hear zero carbon, zero emissions, think depopulation. That's what they mean. Next. That's an old, oh yeah, you guys remember these guys? They got their tattoos of their vaccine card from being indoctrinated by a stranger on the television telling them to get gene therapy modification. And then they had the little March 21st, Pfizer, when they got the shot. March 16th, 2021, J&J. Anyone ever check back in on these people? Have you guys seen these before? Very famous pictures of people that once they got the shot, they got it tattooed that they got the shot that day. Oh yeah. People don't always say, I love you. Sometimes they say, don't take the mark of the beast. Wow, tough crowd. Why are you guys not laughing? That's a funny, Jonathan, that's a funny one. You guys should be laughing more. We have absolutely no idea why people who took 5 experimental vaccines in 24 months are dying suddenly. Next. We weren't crazy, we weren't making things up, we weren't selfish, we weren't killing people, we weren't hurting others, we weren't lying, we weren't just being stupid, we weren't ignoring the actual science. We were vilified, we were fired, we were excluded from society, we were discriminated against, we were mocked, we were blamed, we were thinking critically, and, most importantly, we were right. I already oppose the climate change lockdowns. They're coming. And when you hear someone say people have always died suddenly, no they haven't. No they haven't. The U.S. government, ban the light bulbs. They're bad for the environment. Also the U.S. government spraying Roundup on everything. Not a fan. Many people got vaccinated to travel. Imagine if a small handful of ridiculously wealthy, powerful psychopaths could make you believe anything they wanted by simply controlling what they put on the devil vision. Lies Doctors Tell Part 8. Here we go. You ready? Here's lie number 150. Your education and personal experience do not matter. My education and personal experience do matter since I have a medical degree. I'm sure someone in this room has heard this at some point. But, I mean, medicine has been captured. Just get over it. And it's 3 years later, and here we are, and people are running back to their medical doctors like none of the last 3 years really happened. So just because somebody has an education and just because they have a medical degree does not mean that they know how your body operates. I can assure you. I can assure you. Number 51. Your side effects are only temporary. You'll eventually go back to normal. What's the problem with that statement? So the doctor is admitting that the side effects are causing problems, right? But then eventually your body will just get so overwhelmed by the side effects that you'll just go back to normal being sick, right? You'll just go back to how you were before you started taking the drug because your body will absorb the side effects. It's crazy. Your side effects are only temporary. I can't believe I'd never heard that one before, but that was, yeah, that's good. 152, your anxiety is just a side effect of the drug, but the drug, it's safe and effective. So you just have to what? You just got to live with the anxiety, right? Because farther down the road, there's a plan. And it goes in sequential order. I won't get into it now, but usually here in the near future, here comes what? Psych med. Anti-anxiety med. Yep, in the future. It's safe and effective. 153. I'm sorry, but there's nothing more we can do for you. How many of you have heard that? or know somebody that has heard that. Okay. The problem with this one, and we've had some kind of iteration of this one before, but there's nothing more we can do for you, is a complete and total blatant lie. Why? Think. Has the doctor taught people how to eat? They haven't tried everything. Did he change their diet? Did he tell them stop drinking fluoridated water? Get a unit for your kitchen? Did he give them supplements? Did he teach them that their thyroid problem that they have, it might be from spraying Chanel No. 5 every day for 35 years? Is he telling them about the poisons? Is he telling them about the cleaning supplies and the medications? No, he can't talk to you about poison. Why do medical doctors never talk about the poison chemicals? Because the drugs they give you are poison chemicals, and if they talk to you about the poison chemicals, they would have to admit that the drugs that they're giving you are poisonous chemicals. They're never going to talk to you about detoxification. And even very bright people oftentimes are going to poo-poo the idea of detoxification. But when I look at somebody and I can tell they're full of parasites and a bunch of, and 50 years of fat cells that have collected every poison and metal in the universe, if we put them in a sauna and cook that fat out of them at 150 for an hour once a week, and put them in a foot spa and put them on pulse and did a nutritional detox with them, taught them how to eat, you think they would lose weight? You think they'd feel better? You think their joint pain might go away and they wouldn't have to take Enbrel for the rheumatoid arthritis? You think their diabetes might go away? Boom. But see, did they do everything? No. They did everything that they could do within the legal law licensure of drugs and surgery. And they haven't thought of any other ways they can possibly poison you and bring you to your knees, so they send you home to die. And that's when our phone rings, usually, unfortunately. They've been through everything. Number 154, your experience is very uncommon. You must be the zebra in the crowd. So this is usually after somebody has a reaction or a failed surgery or something like that. And the doctor says, oh, well, everybody else, we poison them appropriately. For some reason, your body reacted differently. You must be the zebra in the crowd, right? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Number 155. You must have always had this condition, but we were finally able to detect it with our fancy diagnostic tools. How many of you have heard that? We did a heart monitor. We did a sleep study. We did an endoscopy and shoved a camera down your face, or we did a colonoscopy, shoved a camera up your butt, or we did an MRI or a CAT scan or a blood lab, or we did a PET scan and we attached radioactive sugar to, sugar to a radioactive isotope and pumped it into your veins and then put you on a screen and lit up everything like a Christmas tree. You must have always had this condition. It's just that we did this one imaging procedure and now we can see it. See how that works? They'll just keep hitting you with ultrasound and radiation until something breaks, right? Because x-rays, people are always like, well, how do you go to a chiropractor that doesn't do x-rays? Well, first of all, if there was no accident, why would I need to take an x-ray of you? You didn't fall off a ladder. You didn't go swimming in a rock quarry, right? Why would I need to take an x-ray of you if there was no trauma? Well, first of all, people think chiropractic is pushing bones back in alignment. That's not true. That's not true at all. That's what we've all been taught. That's what I was taught in school. Come to find out, that's fake too. But it's not about putting bones in alignment. So if you don't need x-rays because I don't need x-rays because A, if you didn't fall off a ladder or have some kind of traumatic origin, mechanism of injury, what am I looking for? I'm not looking for broken, there's not going to be a broken bone. The only other thing you'll see on an x-ray is a tumor. So when chiropractors take x-rays, are they doing it for your health, or are they doing it in most cases because your insurance will pay for it? Bingo. Right. Who's going to shell out the money of their own pocket for a fancy x-ray? Not many people, right? But if insurance pays for it, because I've paid my premiums, $8, $9, $10, $1,200 a month, 10 grand for the year, you better believe I want my x-rays, right? Just how it works. You don't need them. I've been in practice 10 years. How many x-rays have I taken? 2, and one of them was my own. And the other one was just hey, let's go see how this works. I want to see, hey, friend of mine, I want to go let's do an x-ray on your ankle or something like that. I want to walk a patient through, so if I ever have to send an x-ray, I want to see how they do down at the imaging center. So neither x-ray I took was worth a crap. We didn't use it. It's garbage. You don't need x-rays unless you fall off something. So you must have always had this condition. Finally able to detect it. Oh. What's the most famous way that they use this? Two famous ways that doctors use this one all the time. Number one, you want to know? Type 1 diabetes in kids. He always had this condition. We just detected it. That's how people are, the kid's born, he's fine, he's 22 years old, he gets diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. How? His body couldn't make insulin for 22 years, and you just found it? I'm pretty sure if he couldn't make insulin for 22, would he be alive or dead? He'd be dead. So what happened at this ripe old age for you to be able to detect that his body can't make insulin? And then the other question you need to ask is, when did his body stop making insulin? So that's how they use it. Go back pretty please. That's how they use it for this one. That's one thing they use. What's the other way that they use this one to say that they finally found what's wrong with your kid? Spectrum. Autism. He must have always had it. He had it when he was born. You're born with autism. Well, no, the kid was fine. He was talking, then something happened, and now he's not talking. Now he's 17, he's wearing diapers and a helmet, he's banging his head against the wall. But he used to talk. What happened? They will always cite this. Those atheists with snakes on their name tags will always say this. He must have always had this condition. Now we're just able to finally detect it, right? So your friends out there with autistic kids and your friends out there with type 1 diabetes people and kids that were diagnosed farther down the road, something changed. Before that, they were okay. After that, they're not. What changed? 9 times out of 10. Next. 9 times out of 10. If they trick you into a tetanus shot, you're stepping on a rusty nail. We've heard that since the day. It's garbage. It's garbage. It's fake. There's no rusty nail that's going to give you tetanus. Oh, unbelievable. You step on rusty nails all day. Go walk on fire all day. You still ain't going to need a vaccine. Number 156, you have an underlying medical condition that cannot be detected by labs or imaging. That goes along with the last one. You have an underlying medical condition that cannot be detected. What would you call that? Asymptomatic. You're sick, but you don't know you're sick, and there's no way that we can test if you're sick. What's an example of this? All of your chemical and hormonal imbalances. There's no way to test a human body for any chemical imbalances. But they tell people you have a chemical imbalance, so you need this ADD drug, or you need this anxiety drug, or you need this bipolar or manic depression drug, or there's no way you can test it. So if they just tell you you have a sickness, well, there's no way to test it, guess what? Most people will believe it. You have an underlying medical condition. Oh, I love this one. Love this one. You'll hear this around your family table, Christmas and New Year's and all this. Like when people go home for meeting and hanging out with their friends and family, or July 4th, and summertime and Christmas, they always come back with this one. How do you answer this, Dr. Spradlin? You've got an uncle or a brother and they vaccinated their kids. And they say, well, it's been safe for me, so it has to be safe for everyone. My kids got vaccinated. They're all fine. How many of you have heard this? Right? A couple problems with that statement. Well, yeah, you got vaccinated back in the 60s and 70s and 80s when the childhood vaccine schedule sponsored by the Center for Disease Control recommended 6 shots. Now, with all of the COVID's lethal injections being added to the children's schedule, the kids are going to have 100 shots by the time they're 18. In the span of 40 years, the CDC schedule went from 6 shots to 100 shots. Do the math. So not only are you saying, well, I got shots and I was okay. Yeah, you got a few shots, right? But then fast forward 40 years and you've got this kid having shots and this kid having shots. This kid goes down the toilet and this kid seems okay. Seems okay. For now, thank you. For now, here's the problem. Parents are like, oh, my kids are fine. They're vaccinated. They're fine. Also, parents say, well, my kid's neurodiverse. My kid has asthma. My kid has eczema. My kid has allergies. My kid's sensitive. My kid's always sick. My kid's just diagnosed with Crohn's or some other autoimmune crap. The kids are not fine. Look at what's going on in the world. Look at American kids. They're the sickest population in the world. And people just think, oh, they're fine. They got their shots. They're fine. Oh, that's a skin condition. That couldn't be anything. Eczema, asthma, allergies. This is, the diabetes stuff. It couldn't have anything to do with the shots. Oh, yeah. It doesn't live in your body. It doesn't stay in your body for years. And there's no getting it out. There's no getting unvaccinated, right? And then, this is nice. You got the vaccine here. It's unbelievable. You got the vaccine here, and then you got all the autoimmune diseases that each vaccine is linked to via the research and the articles that are currently out there. I know it's kind of small. Nosebleed seats can't see this from the top row of the balcony, but all of the vaccines from MMR, yellow fever, BCG, Hep B, HPV, the Gardasil shot. Look at the Gardasil shot. Notice that it goes to every single thing. That's your Gardasil, that's your HPV, that's your cervical cancer, Make sure you get your 12-year-old kids, 12-year-old daughters, and now they're going for boys too, even though boys don't have cervix. Well, wait, now they do. Wait, they do now. Yeah. It's preventative, it's prophylactic, right? So you can see in the research what all the vaccines are linked to. So like when all this stuff happened in 2020, and you take one listen to it, and you're like, Jesus, they're redoing polio. It's the exact same thing they did with polio. Here's a bunch of symptoms, and then here's a vaccine coming. Like we knew the vaccine was coming soon, right? Because they pulled this off. And then the minute they release the vaccine, they change the symptoms, and the old disease goes away, and the definition of the disease changes. You just replace the iron lung with a ventilator, and you've got the same thing that they did 80 years ago. It's just rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And nobody saw it. Question?
So, yeah, I mean, we all did that. to
We
our
need a
kids,
thing.
Sadly.
Everybody did the thing. Yeah,
I
we
mean,
got.
not
We need
everybody,
this
but-
for the recording. I'll stop for one quick question. Go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So we had our sons, you did the smallpox, you did the
Polio.
all the
stuff.
all
Yeah,
the
yeah.
old time ones, right? Is there a way to reverse? No, there's nothing you can do to.
It's been there for 30, 40 years, right?
I mean, yeah. So you can't do anything to get that out of their system. It's in there.
Fully? There's no way to get it fully out. I mean,
Okay.
it's in the bone marrow. It's in the brain cells. There's no way to get it fully out. Can you help them? Can you detox them? Yeah. But, I mean, to say that you could get every molecule out is a lie. Nobody could say that for sure. And with the whole COVID thing, the COVID's lethal injection, it's designed specifically to change your human DNA. It's designed. So there's no getting it out. Like you can attenuate some of the symptoms and things like that. But is there a way to get it fully out? No way of knowing.
I mean like the DPT and the measles.
Yeah, that too, though. Same thing. I mean, it's the same thing. It's been there for 30 years. I don't know. Nobody knows. It's there. It's causing what it's going to cause. But can you fix? Can you offset some of the problems? Can you eat better and stay away from chemicals that are going to interact with it? Yeah. But I mean, good luck convincing people to do that. They've already been indoctrinated and shot up, and they're probably drinking fluoridated water and taking a bunch of meds. Who knows? I don't know. It depends on their age. Depends on how much TV they watch, basically. Next. So that was number 157. 158, right up there with all the crap you just saw, all the different diseases, and people wondering, like, how do you offset some of like what we were just talking about? Well, the doctors tell somebody, well, you probably have a high toxic load. Take this. Somebody told me that their doctor told them that, and I thought, wow, did you hear what he just said? You have a high toxic load, so here, take a higher toxic load. To add to it. Correct. It's nuts. Every drug is a toxin that would kill you. Every drug, write this down, is a toxin that would kill you. That's why you have to have a prescription to get it. You have to have one dude that's a PhD or a doctorate trained pharmacist doctor, PharmD degree, to give you the drug. But before he gives you the drug, you got to have a signature from another graduate trained medical doctor that says, this is the drug I want them on. Soon, what they'll do is they'll just get rid of the pharmacists, and the drugs will be in vending machines. They'll be sent to your house from Amazon, and you will not need a pharmacist. They're going to get rid of the family practice doctors, the radiologists. All the radiologists are going to be replaced with AI. Mark my words. It's already coming. The doctors, the surgeons are going to be replaced with robots. There'll be like 20 or 50 surgeons across the United States, and they'll all just fly in and run the Da Vinci. And then the radiologists will be replaced by AI, and the pharmacists will be replaced by vending machines. It's all part of the plan.
Catches 20% more on the mammograms than regular radiologists do.
Yeah. Who programmed? Thing was, she was saying they're already catching, the AI is already catching 20% more cancer on the mammograms. But who's programming the AI to call what cancer? See? The thing about AI that people are not understanding is eventually you're going to hand your business and you're going to hand all of your marketing or graphic design or everything over to this thing, over to this non-human entity, right? And then that non-human entity is going to be in charge of your business, in charge of your radiology, in charge of your graphics, in charge of your writing for your social media posts. And then at one point, what if they don't let you write about certain things and the AI that's been programmed by a bunch of leftards won't allow you to talk about vaccines? Like, you can't ask any of the chat GPT stuff about vaccines. You know that, right? Vaccines are great. If you don't want vaccines, you're a conspiracy theorist. That's the way they're programming the chat GPT and the AI to respond to these questions. So eventually, at some point, you hand all your stuff over to this AI. It knows everything about your business, and it just comes and shuts you down. Or it just pumps up your competitors because it doesn't like the message that you're pushing. See where this is going? It's crazy. So when people don't understand, a couple other things about drugs. A, there has never been a drug that cures a disease. That shocks people when I say that. But I've asked nurses, I've asked doctors, I've asked lawyers, is there a drug that has ever cured a disease? The answer is no, not in history. Is there ever a drug that came without a side effect? It's impossible. They're all petrochemical pharmaceutical poisons. So when people say, I'm taking this for my sugar pill, I'm taking this for my diabetes, I'm taking this for my blood pressure, I'm taking this for my heart, I'm taking this for my cholesterol, they're not understanding that they're being poisoned systematically and that they're being killed for profit. They don't get it. It's easily searchable. You can find this stuff. Number 159. Oh, and you have to have a prescription to get the poison, right? If you took a whole bottle of Tylenol, would it kill you? Quickly or slowly? Slowly. If you took a whole bottle of Xanax, would it kill you? Quickly or slowly? Quickly. But if you took that Xanax over a course of 2 months, is it still killing you? Very slowly. Think of it that way. If you took a whole bottle of Tylenol over 2 months, is it still... If you took an 81 milligram baby aspirin every day, is it still killing you? Little by little, slowly, slowly, slowly. But if you took the whole damn bottle all at once, would it kill you dead? It would kill you dead. See? That's how it goes from prescription to over-the-counter. It's been on the market long enough to where, well, people know not to take this stuff bottle by bottle by bottle. But if you do, there's a thing on the back called poison control. Unbelievable. And people still take this crap. 159. You must have had a bad injector. What do I mean by that? When somebody goes and gets Botox, or they go and get fillers, and then they get an infection, the lip, swells up, and then they got to hit them with steroids and, prednisone and this and that to stop the infection or to stop the swelling, right? Here's some things you need to know for all your friends and family members out there that are doing Botox. It only takes a weekend to become one of these. About a $600 investment to become an injector. So you just go to, I tell people, it's kind of like when I went to chiropractic school it was a 6-hour seminar in a Holiday Inn parking lot on a Saturday for about $35. I'm just kidding. But it takes one day or a weekend and $600 to become a certified injector of Botox. FYI. They're also doing Scrotox. For all you guys out there who don't like the wrinkles on your scrotum, you can do Scrotox. Talk to the front desk. We're booking appointments for next week. I'm serious. It's out there. It's out there. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. You look it up. It's crazy. No, don't look it up. Don't look it up. Don't do that. Botox is a drug. Fillers are permanent implantable. Oh, and they're doing fillers, they're doing fillers, they're doing fillers. Permanent implantable devices. Botox damages your nerves. It's the most toxic substance known to man. It's crazy. Botulism toxin is where the name Botox, it comes from Botox, botulism toxin. And botulism, if you have enough botulism in you, you die. Your diaphragm just shuts down and you can't breathe, right? 100 nanograms can kill an adult human. 1 kilogram could wipe out every human in the world. Gulf War symptoms are identical to botulism poisoning. It's classified, Botox is classified as a bioweapon, FYI. It removes empathy, decreases ability to feel emotions. It affects your hypothalamus, pituitary, and adrenal axis. So if you have people who are taking Botox, their empathy is going to go out the window at some point. FYI. Just warning all you husbands, if you wake up and you got a dead horse head in your bed, or somebody blended up your bunny in your Vitamix, it might be your wife. Number 160, you're just looking for someone or something to blame. It's all in your... So we need you to go see a counselor, of course. I love 161. Your brain is telling your body things that are just not true. In reality, it's not really happening. I had somebody tell me, their doctor told them this. I couldn't believe it. Your brain is telling your body things that aren't happening. These are your trusted medical professionals, right? It's nuts. It's nuts. Okay, here you go. Here's a lie. 162. Jonathan. There you go. Thank you. So you have autism. Now, somebody came in. She was in the middle of a initial consultation when I was looking at her paperwork. And I said, hey, you have autism on your... Oh, I need to back up. She was about mid-50s or whatever. And you've many times heard me say in these classes, you will hardly ever find autistic females. They're 99 out of 100, they're males. And you will never, well, now it's 2003, time's going fast. I better say this. I better say you will never find an autistic kid over 45. 40, 45. You won't. They're just not there, right? Now, older people, because they've been indoctrinated by this whole stupidity and all of this crap that's in the media, older people will sometimes say, I think I might be autistic. But going by the definition of autistic, what do you guys think of as autistic? I mean, people that are nonverbal, can't communicate, they're banging their head into a wall, high-pitched screaming. They're okay one day, all of a sudden, bam, something happens, and they're never the same. That's the textbook definition of autism, regardless of what your medical doctor says. All right? Kids are normal, something happens, boom, now they're off the charts. Can't communicate, can't read, can't write, they're wearing diapers, banging their head into a wall with a helmet. Okay? That's autistic. So when I have a 57-year-old, 58 something, talking to me, and she says, I have autism, I'm looking at her paperwork and going, no, you filled out your own paperwork, you walked in here, you drove a car here. Maybe your definition of autism is a little bit different than the real one. So I said, I regularly observe autism. Regularly. I can pick it out of a kid 100 yards away. I can see it in their eyes. I can feel it. You don't have it. You're also, the other problem with that is you're in your mid-50s, so there's no way. It's impossible. It doesn't happen. So I said, so I highly doubt you have autism. I said, who told you this? And she said, an online personality test. An online. So that's why we tell people, don't Google your symptoms. Don't go to Medscape. Don't go to WebMD. It's generating the AI brain frame is what it's doing, because you're inputting your own questions, and then the AI is answering. Like, you've been using AI forever, you just didn't know it. So the search engines are going to drive you into Webland, WebMD, Medscape, and it's all going to just make you think that I have cancer of the butt, and I'm autistic, and I have heart disease, and I'm asymptomatic carrier, and I just need to go get a nasal swab. That's what it's going to do. Couldn't believe it. She didn't last long. Actually, she never became a patient, because I said, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. And you believe that. You believe you have autism because an online personality, I don't think you're going to work out here. Follow me. Next. 163. Like, how do you argue with that? I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not going to argue with that. She wanted to have autism. I didn't want her to have autism. She wanted autism. So you choose. Do you want autism or do you not want autism? Well, I think, okay, wrong answer. Follow me. Grab your stuff. 163. I'm telling you, in the last 3 years, it's gotten bad. It's crazy. I see stuff nowadays I never would have imagined. 163. Conversion disorder. There are no underlying problems, but your body is experiencing symptoms of stress. You're asymptomatic. So they call that, in psychiatry land, with the DSM, the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Psychiatry, they call that a conversion disorder. So now, who in this world would not have some type of conversion disorder? Exactly. The only thing is, once you get on a psych med, your right to vote can go bye-bye. It will come up in a divorce trial, and you can't own a gun. See how that works? It's crazy. It's nuts. Number 164, we're almost there. This is kind of related to this one, and this one, and this one, and this one. We want you to see a counselor. You need mental help. What's the problem with that? When they mean counselor, when they say counselor, what do they mean? Psychiatrist. A psychiatrist. What does a psychiatrist do that's different than a psychologist? Drugs. So they always want you to go to a psychiatrist. Isn't that interesting? Never a psychiatrist, never a counselor. And remember who runs psychiatry. What kind of doctor is a psychiatrist? What kind of doctor is a psychiatrist? People don't know this. People don't know this. What kind of doctor is a psychiatrist? It's a medical doctor. He went to medical school and specialized in psychiatry. People don't know that. They go to a psychiatrist, they think they have no idea it's a medical doctor. How do you think he's writing you a prescription? You go to a psychologist, big difference. Psychologists don't write scripts. Psychologists are like physical therapists. Psychiatrists are medical doctors, okay? Like one can write prescriptions, the other can't. That will soon change though. I love this one. I love this one. Those natural health people are all about the money. I've heard that a couple times from patients that went to a doctor and all their symptoms are gone after decades of being poisoned, and then all of a sudden all their symptoms are gone, and the doctor is like, oh, this is the best I've ever seen you. Oh my gosh, the drugs finally must be working. And then they say, well, yeah, I haven't been taking the drugs for 6 months. Well, what have you been doing? This is great. Well, I've changed my diet. I'm going to see this dude that's teaching me how to take care of myself and how not to poison myself. And oh, is he a natural guy? Yeah. Oh, those natural people. Oh, they're all about the money. While he's making hand over fist referral fees from the pharmaceutical companies for getting people shot up and giving people free samples to get them hooked on drugs that they'll be on for the rest of their life. From a drug rep that used to be a prostitute. Unbelievable. And they tell us they're all about the money. Honey, if it was about the money, I've got other things I'd be doing if it was about the money. You know what I mean? 166. All the vegetables you're eating are making you too alkaline. I love this one. You can't digest them. Your diet is obviously causing the problem. Okay, I had somebody tell me this a little while ago. She was getting a little uppity. I said, okay, great. No problem. You know what? He's right. So if you can't eat vegetables, what can you eat?
Protein.
I'll wait here. Think about it. If you can't eat vegetables, what else are you going to eat? What else are you going to eat? So you're just going to go straight animals? Can't eat vegetables. We've ruled out quite a bit. That whole plant and animal thing that we teach people, like how to eat, well, you just took this one away. Right? Because with the plants and animals thing, with the caveat of very little fruit. Why? Because everybody eats a buttload of fruit, and the fruit's genetically modified and sprayed with stuff. So people always do their fruit smoothies, and it's apples. You've seen this. What kind of fruits?
Bananas, apples, sugar, filtered sugar.
Pineapple, mango, strawberries, blueberries, 15 different things, right? If you leave someone to their own devices, they will do fruit smoothies with 15 different fruits, and their blood sugar will be 1,692 because they'll eat just buttloads of fruit. So that's why we tell people plants and animals, plants, very little fruit. Okay, so now we've got it narrowed down. You can't do vegetables. Perfect. I'm open. What do you want to eat? And she just, and she saw the problem with what she was saying. So a medical doctor saying, you cannot eat vegetables. They're eating, all the stuff you're eating, it's making you too alkaline. You can't digest them. How many of you have heard the whole alkaline lie? The whole, oh, you have to drink alkaline water. Oh, you have to change your alkalinity. Cancer can't live in an acidic environment, and or in an alkaline environment. So you have to go alkaline. Alkalize or die, said the crystal swinging New Age hippie at the health food store that looks like an emaciated, Egyptian mummy, right? It's crazy. The stuff that people listen to and the crap that people hear. You can't digest them. Your diet is obviously causing the problem. First time I've ever heard a medical doctor actually say the diet's causing the problem. But so she was telling me, well, what do I eat? And I said, well, you tell me. You said you can't eat vegetables. You've got this all figured out. Let's do it. Let's do the whole plants and animals thing minus the plants, and let's just do the animals. Well, no, I can't do that. Okay, then shut up. Because that's stupid. What you just said is stupid. Let's fix it. Well, what do I do? Eat the vegetables. The problem is you're not eating vegetables. You're just eating a buttload of fruit. See what the problem is? If you just think logically through it and not what have I heard from somebody, right? God didn't put you here to eat 47 oranges, right? It doesn't work that way. Plants and animals, stuff that's soaking up the sunshine and turning it into chlorophyll that is exactly like the hemoglobin in your blood. Only one atom difference. Chlorophyll and blood, only one thing is different. Only one thing, one atom. You have iron in your blood, plants have magnesium. So guess what would be very good for your body to absorb and eat every day? Green stuff that soaked up the sunshine. Period. Drop the mic, walk off stage. Can't argue with that. And this is last one right here. And then we're out of here. You can go home and eat your fruit smoothies. 167. So a patient's dog ran away. This isn't really a lie a doctor said, but you guys need to understand this. Yes. So her dog ran away about a month and a half before. They'd been looking for it for weeks and weeks. Animal control, somebody got a hold of them, or they called animal control and found out that animal control had their dog. But the animal control required a rabies vaccine before releasing the dog, despite the fact that the dog was already vaccinated for rabies. Why would that be? Well, because there's a few reasons. Because even if your dog is vaccinated, and your dog gets involved in a fight, or say your dog gets bitten by something that's thought to have rabies, are they going to let your dog live? No. Even though your dog is vaccinated against the rabies virus, they will cull your animal. So she had a rabies shot in her dog already. They wanted to put another rabies shot in the dog. Here's part 2 of this. The rabies vaccine is by far the most dangerous vaccine out there as far as for animals. It has the most carcinogens of any vaccine ever created by humans, which also explains what is the most prevalent mammal in the world to have cancer. Dogs. So when your friends and your family members are getting their dogs vaccinated with rabies, if you find a vet who is truthful, who has been around the block for a while, somebody who's not just paid by insurance companies and, care credit or something like that, a vet who's not afraid, a vet will tell you he's never seen a case of rabies. He's never. A real vet will tell you he's never seen a case of rabies. So then what is the purpose with getting your dogs vaccinated multiple times for rabies if they're still going to kill your dog if he got attacked by something that apparently had foaming at the mouth? They're still going to kill the dog even if you had a rabies shot, but your dog has a rabies shot, so we're still going to give him another rabies shot. Why? And with this, we end. Same reason people are getting 5 boosters. It's depopulation. That's what it is. Ask a vet. A vet will know this. If you have a question, we'll do a mic so that you can be heard on the thing. Go ahead. Quick questions, and then we're out of here.
Mine is in regard to the last one.
Perfect.
Everywhere you go, you can't even get your dog's nails clipped without them having to have a record of their vaccinations.
So that proves my point about years I've been telling people there will come a day when you won't get your teeth cleaned without having the shot. And if you remember in the last episode of this, I think it was episode 7, right at the very beginning, we talked about a patient who works at a dental clinic. And she brought in a screenshot. Do y'all remember this? What was the screenshot of? She brought in a screenshot of the software, of the software in the dental clinic, and it had the CPT codes, the insurance codes, the billing codes. And it was Pfizer Vaccine Administration, here's the code. AstraZeneca Vaccine Administration, here's the code. This is a dental office. And I said, she brought it to me and said, you were right. I saw your class a little while ago, and she gave me her phone and said, you know what that is? And it was a screenshot of the dental software that had just gotten upgraded. And she said, look at this. And I said, you work at a dental place. She runs all the billing and stuff for this huge dental place here in town. Or not here in town, outside town. And I said, yeah. And she said, yeah, this is the new upgrade, the new update to the software, to all the CPT code software. And it was all the vaccine administration for every one of the vaccine manufacturers. I just about fell over. So my point is this: you better get healthy, and you better never get another injection, because some of the stuff is already being found in dental injections. So if you do have to have dental work, go someplace that gives you gas and doesn't shoot you with stuff, because the dentists aren't going to even know that the mRNA is in the stuff. And if they do, who cares? They're not going to care, because that's all the stuff they can get. But if you go to a dentist that does gas, that's a lot better than getting stuff injected into you as far as anesthetic goes. So just FYI, all of the stuff that gets injected in the very near future, if it doesn't already contain mRNA gene therapy modification stuff, it will. That's talking about your insulin injections. That's talking about your EpiPens. They're going to put it in everything. And so they've already done it with dogs. So what's coming next for people? They've been doing microchips in dogs for 40 years. They rolled it out. They did it in dogs so that they could test it in people. And now we're here. Ask your vet. Yeah, ask your vet. Anything else? Questions, thoughts, cries of outrage, jokes, riddles, advice? What do we got? Huh? Lots of outrage. Perfect. Well, yeah, there you have 160, what did we end up on? 167 very different lies. And if you go back and watch the old ones, part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it's the commentary I walk through and say on each one, this is where we got this one. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. Microphone?
Do you happen to have any of the things they said, like on voice memos, kind of like with them talking, or no? Or it's just like
I
purely...
delete them. Once I type them, I throw them away.
Oh, okay. But you had some in the past
I
that
did.
like, yeah, that'd be crazy to hear them actually say it.
Yeah, I mean, they live on in infamy here. And I would say a lot of the stuff has come from other professionals, other healthcare people.
Oh, okay.
A lot of, either dental people or nursing people who remember what the doctors told somebody, or, yeah, this is what a doctor told me about this and this and this.
No, sorry for interrupting. Do you actually ask them to write it down, like when they tell them this, or do they secretly record it?
Nowadays, no. No, I don't secretly record anything. But nowadays what I do is people will tell me something stupid that a doctor told them. I'll say, hold on, and I'll put it right in my notes. It'll just go right into the next part 9. I'm
Okay,
already
I see.
building part 9, so it'll just go right into the notes.
Oh, that's interesting.
So there
yeah.
will be no lag time. It'll be there, and I'll start thinking about it, ruminating on it, like, oh yeah,
Gotcha,
I've heard
gotcha.
this one before.
Okay, I see how it is.
Okay, that's how they must be teaching medical schools how to say it. So it goes right into my notes. I don't even write it down on paper anymore.
My next question, my last question, how often do they come up with these new things, these new lies that they add? Because I mean, it's obviously different every single time, isn't it? I mean, it's
Well, it's
Or
like it's always the same old lie that your body's stupid.
do they just rephrase it differently? Is that what it is?
Well, it depends. There are those things like that's a good question, because there are those things that we'll hear other people like myself. I'll talk to friends of mine on other sides of the country and stuff like that. I'll say, hey, well, the intestines being too long. That's a good example. You know, like when I first got in practice, I was talking to somebody and they were like, wait till the first day you hear a patient tell you that his intestines were too long and that's why they cut him out. And I said, what? You're full of crap. There's no way. There is no way. And sure enough, not 6 months later, doctor told me my intestines are too long and he gave me, now I'm pooping in a bag. Shut up. There's no way. And that was like right then. So then what that tells me is the exact word, the exact phrase, the exact sentence from wherever that was, Michigan, Florida, California, whatever, the doctor that told that, you know, the way that other doctor had heard
Right,
it was the
right.
exact way that I'd heard it. So geographically and chronologically, they're teaching things in medical schools the same way, somehow. It's like when they tell people you have a chemical imbalance. See, that's a really well-known one. Or, yeah, you're you know, you can't lose weight because you have a hormonal imbalance. Or, yeah, she's just big boned, or, you know, it's some of these things.
Oh, I see.
I don't know
Okay.
how often, but they're being taught how to say things and how to deliver curses to people in the same manner, using the same verbiage.
That's
It's a
interesting, yeah.
psychological operation. It's a thing where, like, when they sit down and they curse someone and they tell somebody today is, you know, today's the day that we have to tell you, I have very bad news for you. You know, they'll always start it out like that. And, well, today's like the last day of a normal life for you. See how they say it? It's crazy. Huh? But we have a solution. Oh. So like first put them in the gutter and then give them a hand and pull them up, and they'll always love you, and they'll reward you for being their captor. You know what I mean? So it's a psychological thing, the way they teach these doctors how to say it. I haven't cracked the whole code on it yet, and I don't know that I ever want to because it's demonic and horrible. But yeah, they're taught the same way to say things somehow across time and space. Yeah, it's worthless. I don't want to know. I just would love to know which high priestess goes into all the medical schools and teaches people how to deliver the diagnosis on diagnosis day, or whatever they call it. I'd love to know. I would. There's a sick curiosity that I'd like to know how they do it, just so I could crush it and rip its throat out. You know. Anything else? Wow. Did I do this in record time? I did. Who wants to give me a pat on the back? Okay. Oh, schedule. Can you grab a schedule for me real quick? Or if somebody has a schedule. Just real quick. Any other questions, thoughts, cries of outrage? Fabulous. So we'll see you guys. Everybody online, thank you for sticking with us. Today was Lies Doctors Tell Part 8. August 21st, say what you mean what you say. 2 weeks from tonight. Part 5 on that one. That's a humdinger. That's a barn burner. Everybody loves that one because that's a real laugh a minute. September 11th is the new age for old devils, appropriately on September 11th. The new age for old devils. And that's where we're going to talk about why you don't see Buddha statues and Shiva monuments and paintings of people in lotus positions with chakras on their bodies all throughout this office. We're going to talk about all the stuff that I see and observe and hear about and read about and going on in all of these other natural health clinics that don't seem to do it from a biblical perspective. They seem to want to do it from a Hinduism and a New Age perspective. And there's a reason behind that, and I think I've cracked the code on that one too. It's nothing massively surprising to Christians, but non-Christians, you better wake up, because when you got some yoga classes going on in the back, it ain't the place you want to be, I promise. September 25th is World Upside Down. That's a special surprise. I'm not even going to tell you what that one's all about. Very interesting, though. Very interesting. Make sure you're here for September 25th. And then, August 21st. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Any questions? Fabulous. I'm Dr. Brett Spradlin. We're signing out. Divine Design Natural Health. Watch out for tornadoes.